Hello everyone. I hope you are able to watch me and listen to me clearly. Please confirm in a chat box or in a comment box if I am audible to you and I am visible to you. The people who are joining through StreamYard, Vivida, thanks for joining on time. So please, what you can do, Vivida, please confirm if you are able to hear me. How you can do that? You can comment in a chat box. Okay, so you would be finding the private chat there. You can confirm. Yes, perfect. Thank you so much, Vivida. And we would start in a time, but I would like to confirm how many of you are joining from LinkedIn and how many of you are joining from YouTube, because that is how we can plan the next stream session or live session so that most of the audience can join from the larger platform. Okay, and how we are going to interact. So this is again going to be interactive session as it is as always. So how you can do it, at the end of the session I will address your question. So in case you have any question, please put in a comment box to make sure that the flow is not broken. I'm not going to get it interrupted. So please make sure that you have park your question in between. If in case you get any question, park your question in between, and please put your questions in a comment box so that we can understand what are your questions and what are your challenges. Okay. Hi Kamal, very welcome to this session. Again, it is related to leadership, and it is little a deeper session because it is about the leadership challenge, but we are not going to see the superficial level, but we are going to deep down into the session. As I was mentioning earlier, that in case if you're joining from out platform like LinkedIn or YouTube, please put your questions or any comment in a comment box so that I can see your comment and I can address it there. People who are joining from StreamYard, you can put your comment and I can add you back in a stage if you have any question. But it will happen at the end of the session, so we do not break the flow of the session. All right, I hope everybody is clear. Now, so today's topic is again related to leadership, and specifically the neuroscience of leadership. Why it is important? Because many people, I last week I conducted one survey in LinkedIn, and I found that leaders and managers are struggling with the meeting etiquettes and the meeting productivity. I've seen people are attending 15 to 20 meetings in a week, but they are saying they are getting only 5 to 10% of those meetings results. So how many of you are agree to this data what I am sharing, right? Maximum people are attending 10 meetings in a week or 15 meetings in a week, but they are not getting the result as expected of the meeting, which proves that numbers of meeting does not matter. The quality of meetings matters, and of course the agenda and the intention of stakeholders, right? So this is the question we are going to ask, and we are going to deep down, uh, you know, a deep dive into this session and how we can fix the challenge of meeting quality and productivity. So hello everyone once again. Let me check once. Okay. So YouTube is live, and let me check in. Okay. Meanwhile, I am checking the data whether we are live or not. Please confirm which role do you play in a meeting, whether you are most of the time, I'm talking about most of the time, whether you are the host of the meeting, presenter of the meeting, or attendees of the meeting. What is your role in a meetings frequently? Please type in a comment box what kind of role do you play in a meeting. Majorly I'm talking about. Yes, I'm live. Okay, so please confirm what kind of role do you play in a meeting in a comment box. Okay, so I mean, yes, perfect. Thank you so much, Weber, host. Okay, what about others? What about others? Okay, thank you so much. All right, now moving ahead, and so how attendees and host as well. Komal, perfect. Thank you. So how we are going to discuss about this topic? Thanks, Trividha. So we are going to take all these stakeholders. Okay, we are going to So since we are focusing on the neuroscience and the cognitive behavior of a person, okay, stakeholders, whether you are attendee, whether you are a host, whether you are a presenter, okay, we are going to focus into your mindset, okay, and how do you behave in a meeting, and based on your behavior the meeting's productivity depends, right? Now what we are going to do, since I'm the student of neuroscience, I believe that every behavior has a reason, okay, has a mindset behind it, has a pattern behind it. So how we are going to break down today's session, we are going to talk about or check the basic behavior of a human tendency, which called the human psyche. And then based on that human psyche, we will check the individual stakeholders' behavior in a meeting, the mental status, and how we can change as a part of this meeting to make this meeting productive, whether we are team member, whether we are attendees, whether we are host, whether we are presenter, because everybody's attention is or intention in a meeting should be that this meeting should give some result to me, okay. With that intention, if we go into the meeting, definitely meeting is going to be productive, but how to change it and how to get that benefit out of the meeting, that we are going to check today, okay. So please confirm if you are able to see my screen. Let me share my screen. And okay. So okay. Okay, please confirm if you are able to see my screen. Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to little scroll it up so that you can clearly see what is in the mind map. And I request all of you who are attendees and who are part of this digital communicators digital Gurukul, please use this kind of mind map. It helps a lot to understand the concept, and it is very easy to explain others. So please use the mind map whenever, rather than slides, rather than PPT, because PPT makes the presentation poor, but this kind of mind map gives the creativity and also gives the clarity of the concept, okay. So what we are going to do today is we are going to talk about the human psyche behind any behavior, okay. So what we want as a human, what we want, so let's talk about that first, okay. So yeah, see, first of all, as a human, we are lazy. We are lazy people, accept it, okay. So we want to live in a comfort zone. We want to live in a safety net. We don't want to take any risk. We seek validation and approval of others. Now, how many of you agree? I believe that you agree with what I'm saying today. Please confirm whether you agree with it or not. And please agree, I mean, please let me know if you have any other point of view. That is also okay. I'm open to listen to your views also, okay. So we seek validation and approval. We showcase our authority. We try to showcase our authority and try to control the situation, and ultimately we try to show off our skills and presence. Now how many of you agree with that this is the common psyche we have whenever we are, whether it is personal life or professional life, okay. So based on that, based on this psyche, what we are going to do is we are going to divide the roles in a meeting we play, and how our mental status is there when we play specific role, okay. So first let's talk about what are the various roles we have in a meeting, okay. We are generally, I mean, in general I'm talking about the corporate meeting or the project meeting, okay. So okay, so first of all, we if we are the host or the owner of the meeting, and we are the accountable person. Now let's take an example. Say for example it is a project meeting, and you are the project owner or you are the project leader, where you are inviting people to discuss something related to the project. So okay, so this is the host. And if you are a trainer, so you are inviting people to, or your student to join the session, like for example I, right. and then presenter. It is possible that host and presenter could be same, or host or presenter could be different. I'll explain the example. Say, for example, I have invited an expert into the session to throw some light based on his expertise. So I am the host in that case. Presenter is the expert who has come into the session, and attendees would be the people who are joining the session, right? So this is how we have divided the roles. Now, attendees, there are two types of attendees. One, who are actively involved, who are directly impacted by the decisions going to be taken in a meeting, first thing. Second thing, the attendees could be those who are indirectly involved. For example, I'll tell you one example. So Vivida, we have Vivida is HR. Okay. Now she is HR, and sometimes she gets involved in the project meeting. Although she is not directly connected to the business development or the project status, but indirectly she is having some impact on the project development because she is managing the resources, and also she is getting impacted by the project development decisions because she is the part of that organization where the business is happening, right? So Vivida can be considered as one of the passive attendees. Okay, so these are the roles we play in a meeting. Now let us understand the mental status of each role player in a meeting. Now, till now, what we have discussed the human psyche. Second, we have discussed the various roles we can play in a meeting. Now, let's talk about the human psyche or the mental status of individual role player or the stakeholder of a meeting. So first, let's focus on the host. Okay. So host, who is the accountable of the outcome of the meeting. So what is happening? Say, for example, he is the project manager or the project owner or the company owner or the organization owner or the CEO. ठीक है? तो अभी क्या होगा? In that case, his reputation is in stake. Why? Because he is very much involved, very much impacted by the meeting's outcome. So if he has decided certain agenda for the meeting, if he has any intention or purpose behind the meeting, his reputation is at stake. That outcome needs to come out from this meeting, because he has to, maybe he is going to showcase his reputation or repo based on the meeting outcome to his clients, to the vendors, or to the other stakeholders, right? So that is why if you are the CEO of the company, you have to show the board of directors that say mera control chalta hai, right? So that is why your reputation is at stake if you are the host of the meeting. Now, pressure of getting the result. Again, you are getting into the meeting room कि यार मुझे तो ये result लेके आना है आज तो मुझे ये मीटिंग डिस्कस करके ये तो इस पे तो डिस्कस करके खत्म करना है. So you are also having a pressure to control the meeting. Your reputation is at stake, and also you are getting into the room with the pressure कि ये result मुझे ये meeting पे ये discuss करके मुझे कुछ ना कुछ करके ये result तो निकालना है, right? इस meeting का outcome मुझे तो चाहिए है. Then desire to control. Again, it's not only about the meeting which you want to control. You want to control the audience because ultimately you are the authoritative person over all of the stakeholders, right? So you will try to control, and that is why sometimes the host becomes the authoritative person who tries to control others' opinion, right? Next one, fear of rejection or losing trust or losing authority. At the same time, say for example, let's take one scenario where I will explain this point. Say, for example, you are the host or the CEO of the company or the trainer or any position, right? Assume that you have to take a very critical decision in that meeting, whether it is related to project timeline, whether it is about the employee retention, or it is about the adding some or modifying some module as a trainer, okay, which is very out of the box. Now, what you have to do, you are going to discuss something critical, which you know that people would reject, may reject, or there is a possibility, high possibility that people would reject. Okay, so somewhere when you are entering into the room, you already have a preconceived notion that what I'm going to discuss, people will reject it. So there is also, you have a pressure that people should accept your point, what you're going to share with them. Okay, so host, when you are a host and you are going to discuss something critical or not so critical, even then also host has a pressure of this kind of, and he is having this kind of mentality. How many of you agree with it, and how many of you have any of these kind of pressures when you go into the meeting? Please type in a comment box or please type in a chat, so that I understand that you are on a same page and you are able to relate with this topic. Yeah, anybody? Or anybody has any different experience, that is also welcome. Okay, I would like to listen to you. If you have different kind of mental status, or you have different kind of psyche, then these whatever points I have written. Okay, now moving to the next level, that is presenter. Okay, the presenter has a different, or see, when I told that a host and presenter could be different, or host and presenter could be same. So if the host and presenter are same, then of course the mental status of a host as well as the mental status of the presenter will be combined. But if the person is different, then there will be the additional challenges. For example, if I am going to showcase my expertise in on sub session, then I will have the anxiety to perform well. Okay, my presentation has to be the best. Okay, or people should be impressed. I would try to impress them, the audience, by my expertise. That is the mentality I'm going into the meeting room with, this kind of mentality. Now next one is fear of criticism. People should not criticize me, right? Otherwise, how will I behave? I will be defensive, right? And then desire to prove my competence. Let's see, if I'm talking on a session or any seminar or anywhere as an expert, then I should prove my competence. If you are telling me expert, I should behave, I should present myself as an expert. And if somebody somewhere I'm missing, then I will feel that people will, log kya kahenge, wo wala dar hum leke jate hain room pe. How many of you agree with that? Say for example, Komal is a trainer, and Komal, if you are going meeting any student for the first time, you will have that in mind, oh, mera impression, first impression badhiya hona chahiye. Yes, fear of being judged and fear of being so fear of being criticized and fear of being judged has a thin line. Okay, so fear of being judged, it can be a positive judgment or it can be a negative judgment, but criticism is always negative, right? So this is the difference. Okay, now coming back to the next role. Yes, thank you. Next role is the attendees who has the positive or the directly impact of the decisions. Okay, so when I say that we are lazy and we want to live in a comfort zone, say for example, there is a organization structure happening in your company. Okay, now what is happening if you are working in a work from home, and suddenly there is a buzz that work from home is getting out of the policy. Okay, then before going to the meeting, before understanding the agenda, somewhere you will have already the preconceived notion or understanding or a fear that they may discuss this point. Okay, and then you will create a story. यदि ये point discuss होता है कि कल से आपका work from home बंद हो रहा है, what story, what excuse I have to make, right? So this kind of anxiety, this kind of insecurity, you are already taking into the room if you believe that you are going to be impacted through that decision, whatever is being discussed in the meeting. Now, how many of you agree with that, that this is the scenario, or this happens 90% with us, that we take our ideas कि ये meeting में ये discuss हो सकता है, salary के बारे में. For example, a very typical example, performance appraisal. ठीक है, जब भी आपको परफॉर्मेंस अप्रेजल के लिए बुलाया जाता है, यू ऑलरेडी हैव स्टोरीज क्रिएटेड. You know, right, Komal? You know that these are the points are going to be discussed, and based on that, you already created a story. मैं इसके लिए ये बोल दूंगा, मैं इसके लिए ये justify कर दूंगा, मैं इसके लिए ये justification दूंगा, and you have all the story ready. और वहां जाके पता चलता है कि ये सब तो बातें ही नहीं थी, कुछ और ही टॉपिक था, राइट? एंड व्हाट हैपेंस, जो टॉपिक हमें डिस्कस करना था वो तो हमने प्रिपेयर किया नहीं था, और अचानक पता चलता है कि कुछ और टॉपिक आ गया और वी आर नॉट रेडी फॉर दैट टॉपिक, और वो मीटिंग अनप्रोडक्टिव रह गई, राइट? सो 90% हैपेंस दिस ओनली. Now how, so let's talk about, coming back to the topic. So what is the mental status of the attendees who is directly impacted through the decision? The fear of unknown. हमें पता नहीं कि क्या डिस्कस होने वाला है. Concern for the workload. Maximum time हमारे दिमाग में रहता है, ऑलरेडी हमारे पास इतना काम है, अभी और वो देने वाले हैं, right? So this is again a workload pressure which we already create in our mind, and we go with that workload pressure. Next one, political risk calculation. जब भी इस तरह का कुछ एक मेल आता है हमारे पास that we are meeting for some important topic, हमारे सारे इंस्टिंक्ट खड़े हो जाते हैं and we think, अरे कुछ पॉलिटिकली तो कुछ रिस्क नहीं है, my position is secured or not. Exactly. So if it's a business meeting, if he agrees or disagree to the proposal, he is always in the win-win position. Who you are talking about, the person who is doing business, or you are talking about the client you are doing business with? So client, okay. See, client will always, if client is coming for a proposal meeting, the win-win situation will be that he cracks the business based on his conditions, right? So he would not be happy if the deals is not being closed. He will be more happy if the deal is closed based on his terms and conditions, right? So for him, win-win situation will be कि डील भी क्रैक हो गई है, उसको अच्छा बिजनेस भी मिल गया है, उसको अच्छा वेंडर भी मिल गया है, और लेकिन उसके टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस पे, right? So this is the win-win situation for both of the party. Now coming back to, yes, exactly, yes. Now coming back to the insecurity and the mental status. So I hope you are clear with the attendees' mental security and insecurities and fear when he or she goes into the room, into the meeting room, especially when the agenda is little critical, little hazy, it's hidden agenda, or when the agenda is not clear, only it is written that we are going to talk something urgent. Okay, so उस cases में हमारे सारे instinct खड़े हो जाते हैं as an attendees. Next one is attendees who are not at all impacted. ठीक है, कई बार ऐसा भी होता है कि जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल कुछ प्रोजेक्ट का कुछ पॉलिसी चेंज हुई है, या चलो एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं कि प्रोजेक्ट में कुछ चेंजेस आए, कुछ प्रोग्रामिंग में, कोडिंग में कुछ चेंजेस करने हैं. अब क्वालिटी डिपार्टमेंट जो है उसको डायरेक्टली लेना देना नहीं है, क्योंकि पहले डेवलपमेंट होगा, फिर उसके बाद क्वालिटी टेस्टिंग होगी, फिर उसके बाद वो डिलीवर होगा. तो क्वालिटी जो भी प्रोजेक्ट में चेंजेस होने हैं उसको क्वालिटी से क्या लेना देना, जो भी आएगा टेस्ट हम कर लेंगे, सिनेरियो हमें बता दो. नाउ क्या होता है कि उस केस में उनका मेंटल स्टेटस क्या होता है इन दीज केसेस, राइट? They are not at all focused. They are not at all attentive. I will give you another example. Say, for example, Vivida is HR. Okay. As I took the example, right? कि Vivida is HR, and if the project development से related कुछ changes होते हैं, if there is a change or discussion about the policy, she will be highly involved. But if there is a coding related discussion, she will not be attentive and not will be focused. Right, Vivida? So this is very important, right? So that is how you can understand, and even Vaibhav for you. I'll take your example. For example, Vaibhav is handling team. Okay. Vaibhav is handling team of a coders, of a programmers. But if he has to involve the pre-sales team for some discussion, then pre-sales team will not be that much attentive because they don't have to worry about the coding or the programming or anything. The same thing applies to Komal. Komal is a trainer. She is only involved in a training program, in a topic to be trained or topic to be taught, right? She will not be just worried about the marketing of the organization or sales of the product. No, she will not be worried about that, right? So this is how the people who are not directly involved with the meeting decision or discussion, they will be less attentive, right? And yeah, so they will be distractive. They will have yes boss attitude. What does it mean? See, they will be only worried about कि मीटिंग जल्दी खत्म हो जाए. ठीक है, तो उनको नहीं समझ में, उनको टॉपिक समझ में आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है, whether they are involved in the discussion or not, they will say every time yes yes yes, हाँ ये पॉइंट क्लियर है, हाँ क्लियर है, ये बात सही है, हाँ सही है. They will not raise any concern, they will not raise any query, or they will say yes 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 yes. Because of that, they can distract, or they can they can take the meeting off the track. For example, if I am an authoritative person, but I do not have anything to do about that, I am a pre-sales person, okay? I do not have to worry about the development and coding and programming. But since I am authoritative, I want to showcase my authority, I want to prove my authority, I will try to be involved in the discussion through pre-sales perspective. Exactly, Komal. It happens a lot. It happens a lot. And that is where people distract others. For example, if I am a trainer and I do not have to do something related to marketing or anything, I will watch my phone, I will distract others, I will check my emails, right? So this is how I can distract or destroy the purpose of the meeting, right? So this happens with the meetings, and that is why most of the time meetings are not too productive. And these the attendees who are not directly involved, but if they are authoritative, they can completely change the direction of the meeting. So they are the people who distract the meeting, and they are the people who can change the track of the meeting. Okay, now, so this is the mental status when they get into the meeting room. Okay, how do you understand their behavior, right? So first thing, let's talk about the host. How does he behave in the meeting? Okay, now we are changing the changing the mode, and now we are talking from mental status to behavior pattern, because mental status decide your pattern, and that is why meeting is unproductive. Okay, the host who is trying to prove his authority. Now remember the mental status, and we are trying to map with the behavior. Okay, so whatever mental status we have discussed, you have to keep that in mind. So host के लिए हमने क्या बातें की थी? He will try to control the meeting, he will try to rush to the decision, he will try to get the result fast, and he will try to prove his authority. So what he will do, what will be his behavior? He will try to cut the people off. How many of you agree with that? When you try to share your opinion, the host who is hosting the, okay, so Komal, it's mean that whenever you are, say for example, you are attending a meeting related to marketing, ठीक है? अब आप भले उसमें directly involved नहीं हैं, बट कहीं ना कहीं आपको ये लगता है कि यदि हमने इस ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम को अपने पूरे प्रोग्राम में ऐड किया, इस ट्रेनिंग टॉपिक को हमने इस पूरे प्रोग्राम में ऐड किया, तो उससे आपकी मार्केट वैल्यू बढ़ सकती है. आप ये पॉइंट शेयर करना चाहते हो, लेकिन जो ओनर, जो अकाउंटेबल पर्सन है जिसने मीटिंग होस्ट की है, वो क्या चाहता है कि मेरा जो मार्केटिंग आइडिया है वो फटाफट लोग एक्सेप्ट कर ले. तो वो क्या करेंगे? वो आपके आइडिया को तुरंत कट ऑफ करेंगे, राइट? वो क्या बोलेंगे? अरे कोमल, वो अपन बाद में देखते हैं. यू गॉट इट, राइट? सो अपन वो बाद में देखते हैं, फटाफट अपन इस टॉपिक को डिस्कस करते हैं और खत्म करते हैं, right? So what he will try to do, he will cut off the people's opinion, because he wants to rush to the result or the outcome of the meeting, or take the decision in the meeting as per his choice. Direction less talking. Okay, sometimes what happens that he is everywhere. He does not want to listen to people. He does not want to listen to the concern. He will just try to take topic, and he will be somewhere here and there, and he will not talk to the direction, proper direction. Okay. And next point is defensive when questioned. If he is sharing some idea, okay, he is introducing some new policy or new idea based on his expertise, and if I raise a query or raise a concern against this policy, then he will become defensive. Why? Because he wants to prove his authority, because he wants to make secure his reputation, right? So this is how human behavior is. Human psyche convert this behavior, and that is why meetings are getting failed. How many of you are able to relate that how human psyche impact the meetings behavior and meetings and productivity? Are you able to relate it? Right? Thank you so much, Komal. Okay, now moving to the next point. Defensive when questioned, rushing to the decisions. This is what we have discussed, and ignoring the opinion. I gave the example for this also. Okay. Now next topic is, next stakeholder is presenter. How he or she behaves when somebody, or when I am presenting, or when I am the presenter, how will I behave because of my mental status? तो mental status क्या था उसका? अपनी एक्सपर्टीज शोकेस करनी थी, अपने आइडिया को बेस्ट टू बेस्ट दिखाना था, और अपने स्किल्स को प्रूव करनी थी. With this mentality, the presenter has entered into the meeting room. How he or she will behave? He will be overloading the data. Why? Because she or he wants to prove his expertise. Over explaining, हर एक चीज को वो इतना ज्यादा एक्सप्लेन करेंगे जिसकी जरूरत नहीं है. Justifying instead of listening. So whenever there is a question, they feel it personal, we take it personal, and they try to justify everything, that yes, I am right? So this is kind of attitude they have, and that ruins the presentation, that ruins the purpose of the discussion, right? Next one, defensive. I told you, right? They become defensive whenever asked the questions, or whenever the concern is raised, or whenever the objection is raised. Okay. Now let us understand the audience who is directly involved or impacted. With the, what was the mental status? They were insecure, they were anxious, they were insecure कि इस कोई meeting मेरे against ना हो, right? They were analyzing the risk, they were analyzing the unknown, the fear of unknown, and they were analyzing कि इस decision से, इस meeting से मेरी position पे क्या impact आएगा, right? So they were insecure in total. So they will try to be resistant towards the meeting discussion. If there is any accountability, any responsibility, any additional workload, they will try to ignore, or they will try to push it behind. They don't want to take further workload. How many of you agree with that? कि मान लो कुछ, जैसे आपने ये पैटर्न बहुत इजीली देखा होगा. फॉर एग्जांपल, यदि पॉलिसी में या प्रोजेक्ट पे कुछ चेंजेस आए हैं, जिसको काम करना है ना, वो क्या बोलेगा? अरे यार, ये बहुत ज्यादा काम बढ़ा देगा, ये ना इतने टाइमलाइन में पूरा नहीं होगा, ये ना इससे ये हो सकता है कि इससे वो और नुकसान हो जाए. So they will try to make excuses so we don't get into the decision. For example, if you are the manager and you will say, Akanksha, will you be able to take it? Yes, it is very common, Bibita, right? So if you are the manager and if you ask me, Akanksha, will you be able to take this responsibility? And I would say, you know what, I need to look into it and then I will confirm you. Why? Because I don't want to take more workload. भले ही मुझे पता है कि इसमें क्या काम करना है, but I will take 100 excuses and then rather than taking the accountability. Correct? So this is again a reason of meeting failure. Yeah. Next one, silence to avoid commitment. आप लोगों में से कितने लोगों ने ऐसे लोगों को देखा है अब मीटिंग में जो कुछ नहीं बोलते हैं? They are the smartest people, they are the most talented people in the team, but they keep silent. क्योंकि उनको पता है ज्यादा बोलोगे तो काम आप ही को मिल जाएगा. Yes, agree? Yes, it happens, right? क्योंकि उनको लगता है कि जैसे ही मैंने मुंह खोला पता चला काम मेरे ऊपर आ गया. So they don't try to speak out, right? So yes, this is the common behavior of the people, of the attendees who are directly involved. Try to buy out the time. So जैसे मैंने बोला कि हाँ, I will analyze it further, I will check it and confirm you, right? They are trying to buy out the time so that responsibility किसी और पे चली जाए. They don't want to take the commitment. They don't want to give you any commitment. So this is the behavior of attendees. Okay. Now attendees who are indirectly involved or not at all involved, they make, जैसे मैंने बोला था कि they can take it off track, checking phones and minimal contribution. They do not even contribute. And यदि उनको लगता भी है कि हम contribute कर सकते हैं, but they do not contribute because again they know उन पे कोई impact आने वाला है नहीं. Right? So these are the few examples and the roles. Now, how many of you are, yes, exactly. Komal, they avoid the visibility, but they, okay. So one more stakeholder or one more kind of people, attendees are there who don't, okay, so there are two types. One is who knows the things, they are the expert, they are talented, but they hide behind the scene. They don't want to come forward, so because they know कि मेरे सिर पे आ जाएगा. Now there are other attendees, there are other people, team member who do not know anything. Okay, they do not have expertise, but they try to increase their visibility and they unnecessarily talk in the meeting. How many of you know these people? Right? उनको कुछ पता नहीं है, उनको कुछ लेना देना नहीं है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अटेंडीज जिनको कोई इंपैक्ट नहीं पड़ना है, वो क्या करेंगे, अननेसेसरी बीच पे उचकते हैं. Now how many of you agree? Right? Okay. No, can you repeat the question, Komal? Okay, so I will take your question later. Meanwhile, you clarify your question, okay? Now, next one. So, this is the pattern behavior. Now, let's think about, just a second. Just a second. Okay, now let's think about that what behavior or mental status we should change. See, when the meeting is unproductive, okay, you are, all of you, all the stakeholders, whether you are attendee, whether you are anyone, it is just a waste of time for all of us, right? So the best way to use the time, because ultimately what happens, हम बोलते हैं कि मीटिंग में इतना सारा डिस्कशन हुआ पर रिजल्ट तो कुछ निकला नहीं, हमारा सारा टाइम वेस्ट हो जाता है मीटिंग पे. क्यों होता है? इन्हीं सारे रीजन से जो मैंने आपको शेयर किए. बिकॉज एवरीबडी हैज देयर पर्सनल एजेंडा, everybody has their personal intention to attend that meeting. They are coming up with their own personal mental status. Now, to get the meeting productive for all of us, for all the stakeholders, they need to change their mental status. How they should change their mental status and what kind of mental status they should come with. Okay. So what neuroscience says, we all know that we have three kind of mind. Okay. One is amygdala, which thinks the risk factor. One is emotional mind, which is very sensitive. And the last one is analytical mind, which is the which analyze the situation. Okay. So this is the basic brain or mind we have. Okay. These are the division of the brain through which we react or act or behave in certain way. So now we will see how the mental status should be and how our action should be in a meeting. Okay. Again, coming back to the host, now we have understood the mental status of a host, how they behave and what pattern we need to change. Now we are going to see it. Okay. So the first part is, okay, before the meeting, when the host is coming before the meeting, what should he do? Okay. Or she do? So first thing he needs to check, if he needs to be ready, it's okay if they reject my idea. you have to separate your personal image or personal identity based other than your idea. Okay, you have to separate these two, because they are not rejecting you, they are just rejecting your idea. तो ये मेंटल स्टेटस आपके दिमाग से निकाल देना चाहिए कि आपके आइडिया के रिजेक्शन से आपका रेपुटेशन हार्म होगा. नो. The next thing is you have to be ready for the worst. What could be the worst? वो एक्सेप्ट नहीं करेंगे मेरे आइडिया को, वो एक्सेप्ट नहीं करेंगे और जो हमारा मीटिंग एजेंडा. इट्स ओके, राइट. नेक्स्ट, what is the meeting for? What could be the win-win outcome? You don't have to rush to the conclusion, you don't have to rush to the decision. What do you want? You have to think from other perspective also. Okay, say for example you are going for the you are going to announce that इस साल में हम परफॉर्मेंस या इंक्रीमेंट नहीं देंगे. Okay, and this is the policy, company policy, you cannot do anything about it, right? So how you can make still win-win for others? Think about other benefit you can do which is not monetary. क्या आप कोई ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम कंडक्ट करवा सकते हो? क्या आप कुछ लोकेशन में चेंज करवा सकते हो? क्या आप कोई एडिशनल पर्क और बेनिफिट दे सकते हो? So you have to think others perspective also. That is how people will accept your idea. Okay. Next one. No, Komal, I'm fine. I just wanted to have some water. Okay. Next one is yeah. And most importantly, I will listen to understand, not to defend. See, as a host, as an accountable of the meeting, it's your responsibility that you don't just control the people, you also try to understand their concern. Why? Because they are the people who are going to execute on your idea. You are not going to sit and execute on your idea. They are the one who are going to take it to the end. So you have to understand their concern also. It is the responsibility of the host. Okay. Now, during the meeting, what you need to do? During the meeting, just a second. I'll stop it. Yeah. So during the meeting, don't rush. First, you have to set the context. Okay, you don't have to go into the meeting and just start, okay, today we are going to discuss this, let's start. No, first you need to set the context, why this meeting has emerged, what is the need of the meeting, and why this meeting topic or the agenda is important for them also to be attentive in the meeting. Okay, why, how it is going to be impacted, whether it is positive or negative, so how we can make it positive. So that is how you have to set the context so that people get engaged and they take interest on your point. Next one, ask questions, involve them, invite the doubts and encourage them to raise the concern. Don't stop them in between. यदि कोई opinion share कर रहा है, don't stop them कि अच्छा ठीक है हम इसको बाद में देखते हैं. No. Ask them the concern, but at the same time you have to check कि कौन पूछ रहा है, whether they are the people who are not at all involved or not at all impacted, they are just trying to distract the meeting, or they have the real concern. That is your judgment, you have to check. Next one, acknowledge the participation. If somebody is talking and if it is not even relevant, don't stop them, just acknowledge the participation, but also let them know that we will discuss it later because it is not relevant to the topic. So at the same time, you have to stick to the agenda. At the same time, you have to track the time, but don't ignore people's opinion. That is the ultimate bottom line or action item you should add in your as a host. Okay. Next one, respond, don't react. Okay, if somebody has concern, if somebody is taking objection on your topic or on your point, please don't react. Okay, don't be sensitive that they are attacking you personally. No, they are not attacking you personally. They are just trying to understand your idea and they are even rejecting your idea, not you. Okay, so that is why you have to understand their opinion and you have to then you have to answer the audience. Okay, next one, don't lose the track or purpose of the meeting, as I mentioned earlier, right? Next one, after the meeting, what you need to do as a host after the meeting, restate and share that decisions were made in the meeting. See, मीटिंग में जो बोल दिया है वो बोल दिया है, लेकिन इसके बाद भी आपको हर एक स्टेक होल्डर को जो कंसर्न है, जो उस मीटिंग में प्रेजेंट थे या नहीं थे, यू शुड is restate at the end of the meeting, and also it has to be written. So you have to send MOM, or somebody sending the MOM, that has to be, the decision taken has to be added, and who is the accountable team, accountable person to complete or for execution, who is accountable or responsible for the execution, that is also should be included in a written email or the written document. Okay, so that is how it is your responsibility as a host. And then follow up meetings, you should also decide and send the invite for the follow up meetings. That is your job as a host. So this is the host responsibility to make the meetings productive. Now, how many of you are already following these points? How many of you are already following these points as a host? Webhav, Komal, Kamal, Vividha as a host, how many of you are already following this point? If you're not following, please start following this point, because this is very important for your meeting productivity, and you will see the results coming out. Okay, next one. Not all. Okay, got it. Yeah, but this is something which you should follow. Next one, presenter. Okay, if you are the presenter, not host, then what you need to do additionally. Okay, and if you are the host, these are the points you have to keep in mind other than the host points. Be open for the objection. Even if you are showing your presentation, even if you're talking about your expertise, still people have different opinion. They can have different opinion, right? So it's okay if they are raising the objection. It's okay if they are showing their disagreement. Be open to that. Don't try to be defensive, and don't try to save your image or identity. It's okay, you are the master, but you have to listen to the objective. Now, next one, you are the master of your craft, but there is always a scope of improvement, right? Nobody knows everything. You have to understand this. You have to have that mindset. Still, you are the master, still, you are the expert, but people may know something which you do not know. So, you have to keep that in mind, and then you should go into the room. Okay. Next one, during the meeting, what you need to do. So, during the meeting, don't play defensive. Listen to the objective, ask for the more clarification, and understand their concern is valid or not. Okay, and if it is valid, they are not just wasting the time. If it is valid, answer these concerns and questions. Next one, focus on the objective of the presentation, not your own image and impression. Okay, this is very important, because sometimes people take it personally and they get involved into the discussion which is not at all related to the presentation topic. They try to prove their expertise, and they try to they get off the track. Okay, that's very risky for the meeting and productivity. Don't overload data. Tell more in less words. This is very important. That is why we use visuals aids into the presentation. Next one, I need to prove myself right. We have to change the mindset. What kind of mindset? I have to prove myself right. No, we need to reach to the right decision. This mentality, you should go into the room. Okay, we as in audience and you are not different. Audience and you are together, who are going to take the decision or reach to the certain point of conclusion. Okay, this is the meeting agenda for all of the stakeholders. Now, next one is, so I hope you are clear. If you are the host of the meeting, or if you are the presenter of the meeting, or if you are both playing the two roles together, what you need to do, you have understood it. That is how you can make your meeting productive. Okay, because this is the ultimate goal. As a host or as a presenter, you already have in the mind. And as a host and presenter, this is your ultimate responsibility, that your meeting has to be productive and it has to have some result outcome, right? Next one, as an attendee. Now, you may think कि attendee को क्या मतलब है, right? अटेंडी तो जाएगा, सुनेगा, बैठेगा, आ जाएगा, उसको क्या मतलब है प्रोडक्ट मीटिंग का रिजल्ट आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? See, in this whole discussion, the most critical stakeholder is attendee who is directly involved. Can you tell me why? Somebody tell me why? Why the attendee is the most critical person in this whole discussion? Yeah, anybody would like to try? Okay, so I'll tell you. See, मीटिंग में जो भी डिस्कस होगा, मीटिंग में जो कुछ भी डिस्कस होने वाला है, who is going to take the action on it? Who is going to take the execution? The attendees are going to take the execution. That's why you have to change the mentality कि अरे वो मेरे प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर ने मीटिंग डाल दी है, जाके अटेंड करना पड़ेगा. वो एटीट्यूड से आप जाओगे तो आपके लिए हमेशा you will lose in the meeting. Always you will lose in the meeting. So if you really want to make the meeting productive for you as an attendee, please make sure that you are clear with the agenda. You are clear what my strategic step I am going to take, what strategic question I am going to ask, what strategic concern I am going to raise. Then only this meeting is going to be productive for you. अदरवाइज एग्जीक्यूशन तो आपको करना ही है. यदि ऊपर से कुछ ऑर्डर आ गए आपको फॉलो करना ही है. बट इफ यू गो विदाउट एनी प्रिपरेशन, इफ यू गो विदाउट एनी स्ट्रेटेजी, you will not be able to put your conditions, you will not be able to raise your concern, which may be a bad adverse situation for you later, right? So that is why you should be go in a meeting with a positive attitude. Okay, so what you need to do as a attendee okay, so before meeting, first thing, don't try to find the excuses. Think strategically and look bigger perspective. See, you may have some workload for some time being. I agree that you will have additional workload or you may have additional responsibility. But think in a bigger perspective, it may bring you some opportunity of growth. It may bring you some opportunity of learning. Think in that direction. Okay, if you go with that direction, you will be open to discuss and raise your concern rightly and strategically. Okay, next one, during the meeting, don't listen selectively. जो आपके काम का है वो आपने सुन लिया, जहां पे आपको, और क्या होता है हमारा दिमाग पहले चलने लगता है कि हम इसमें ये एक्सक्यूज बना देंगे, हम उसमें ये रीजन दे देंगे, हम इसको ऐसे जस्टिफाई कर देंगे और बात वहीं खत्म हो जाएगी. बात वहां खत्म नहीं होती है, राइट? सो डोंट लिसन सिलेक्टिवली. Be involved positively. Okay, involved in the meeting discussion positively. Next one, don't look it as a workload, look it as an opportunity and also as a cost. If I lose this responsibility, what will I miss? Do I have the chance of learning new thing? Do I have a chance of new opportunity? Do I have a chance of career growth? Right? So this way you have to think the opportunity cost also. You may lose if you do not take the responsibility. Next one, seek the clarity but not create confusion. Sometimes I told you about the smart people or talented people. What they do, see, they know that I am the expert, I am the coder, I know what is happening inside at the ground level. So what they try to do, they do not just raise the concern, they try to create the confusion so that जो आइडिया है वो वहीं के वहीं बंद हो जाए. वो जो बॉक्स से आया था आइडिया वो बॉक्स में वापस चला जाए, ये पॉइंट ही रेज ना हो. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू आर एबल टू थिंक अ पर्सन हु डज दैट इन योर मीटिंग? कैन यू रिलेट समवन? Because every meeting has that over smart people who do not want to take the responsibility, who do not want to get out of the comfort zone, but they just try to create the confusion. So there is no a new idea gets discussed in the room and they do not have to take the new responsibility. Are you able to recall anyone? Yes, I know everybody has that person in the room, right? So yes, they are the person try to create the confusion. Okay, silence is killer for your success. Now I told you another people who keep silent, they know everything but still they try to keep silent. Believe me, if you know the thing and you do not share in your point of view or your opinion or your idea, believing that if you open your mouth people will take risk or you will get new responsibility, you are killing your success. Okay, as when you learn communication, then also I tell you that you have to speak out in a meeting to increase your visibility. Okay, but it has to be logical. You don't have to just speak for the sake of speaking, but you have to share your opinion. Don't be silent in the meeting. Increase your visibility. That is very important. So yes, exactly, Komal, right? So these are the points you have to understand when what you need to do as attendee when you are getting impacted through the decision. Okay, how many of you are clear with this idea? Clear? Clear. So please type clear if you are clear with this idea. Now next one. Next one is if you are not directly involved and don't have to do anything about it. Okay, so what you need to do is see before the meeting. Okay, so first thing, if you know that there is no role, then why you are going even into the meeting? Don't go into the meeting if you think that there is no involvement at all. But remember the future. Okay, you may involve, you may get impacted by this decision later on. So please try to understand beforehand, before the meeting, try to understand your role in the meeting, why you got this invitation when you are not directly involved. Okay, next, get the agenda beforehand. If you are not related to that department, please ask them first thing, why I am invited, second, what is the agenda. Okay, and still if you think that yes, you should attend this meeting, भले ही आप directly involved नहीं हो, that is okay. But if you feel that there might be some discussion which I should listen or I should be part of, go and attend the meeting. And once you attend the meeting, then go with this mindset. Okay, what kind of mindset? Don't distract others. Okay, यदि आपने एक बार डिसाइड कर लिया है, respect your decision of attending the meeting. If you have decided that you will attend the meeting, then respect your own decision. Nobody has forced you to attend the meeting, right? So if you are going for that meeting, avoid multitasking. Don't check your phone, don't check your mail, stop it for some time. And if you have really something critical, take excuse and then go and leave the meeting if you don't want to attend. Next one, don't make others rush to the conclusion. I told you, these are the people who try to rush. Yes, boss mentality. Why? Because they want to rush to finish the meeting quickly and they want to get out of this meeting room. Okay, so don't make rush, because people who are getting involved, they are going to be impacted by your attitude. Next, if possible or asked, give your genuine opinion. You may be a third party, you might be joining the meeting as a third party, but you might have generic opinion about the topic which has been discussed, whether we should do A or B. You can give your generic opinion, right? So don't, at least be present, attentive and focused and listen to the discussion, what is happening, because your opinion matters to them. That's why you are invited, right? So these are the point, these are the mental status, and these are the mindset of various stakeholders in a meeting. And if you are any part of it, for example, you are a host, you are a presenter or anybody, please make sure that you go with the positive mindset and you do change a little bit of your mental status, and that is how you can change the complete meeting room energy, and you get the positive result, you get the win-win conclusion of the meeting. Now, how many of you feel that whatever you have learned today, if you apply even 50% of it, you should tell these points to your team members. You should share these points to your organization, that this is how we should make the meetings productive. Okay, and I am sure that once you change the mental, your mindset, I am sure that you, at least you will be getting the positive results of the meeting discussion. कुछ नहीं तो आप जब डिस्कस करोगे, जब आप अपना कंसर्न दिखाओगे, जब आप अपना ओपिनियन दिखाओगे, योर विजिबिलिटी विल बी इंक्रीज्ड, यू विल बी इन द गुड बुक्स ऑफ योर मैनेजर. ये तो कुछ नहीं होगा तो ये तो होगा ही होगा. And people will start taking your opinion. People will start considering you as a positive person, as an active member of the team. And that is a very plus point when people will consider the people, the team players of the for the opportunity. Okay, so this is going to be a plus point for you towards your opportunities, and this is a positive attitude you are showing. Okay, so that is what I wanted to share today, and that is what I wanted to discuss with you all. I hope that you got the idea. Now, Komal, you had some question. Okay, So less visibility is good or bad? Okay. So I will add you, Komal, on the stage so that you can discuss, and I will stop sharing. Yes, Komal, you wanted to discuss this topic.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. Well, my
Hi,
question
Komal.
is, yes, ma'am. So my question is, there are
Hmm.
two questions in my mind. The first question is that sometimes we are saying that we don't show some more visibility. If we show more visibility, so definitely we will get some more responsibilities.
Hmm. Hmm.
So now my question is
Hmm.
the visibility good or bad for the career growth?
Okay. So, if you think that the responsibility in stake or being discussed is related to your career growth, then you
Hmm.
should take that responsibility. And for that, you should increase your visibility. Okay. Say, for example, you are talking, if you are increasing your visibility towards your training program, it's good. But if you are unnecessarily showing your visibility in terms of marketing department or in terms of marketing strategy, then it is not useful. You have
Okay.
so it based on your career objective. Based, if you want to in future, if you want to go into marketing department, yes, you should show your visibility into marketing related discussion. But if you want to be a trainer and remain as a trainer, there is no point showing your visibility in different department. Are you got your point?
Yes,
Did you
ma'am, I
get
got your point, but ma'am, sometimes it happens, ma'am, the boss says ki that you must be multitasker. Now
hmm,
you are good in training part, but you should know other departments also.
hmm, hmm,
But this
hmm.
is from the my boss end. Okay, so
Huh,
in that case, what should I do? Do I show my visibility in other areas? This is, for example, I'm not good in technical part.
huh,
So, but he always says ki that if you don't know this part, definitely you should learn. And
huh.
unless and until you will not take the responsibility, so then how you can learn?
Okay,
So in
so
that area, my question is, do I
huh.
show my visibility or do I stay silent?
Okay, so I'll tell you one thing. Do you think that learning new techniques will add value addition to your resume?
Okay, okay, got
Yeah,
it.
so you
But
have to think. You have to think.
it adds value, so
Ah,
definitely I
yes,
should show the visibility.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay,
You should show the commitment that yes, I do not know, but I want to learn. Why?
right.
Because in future, AI is coming. In future, you cannot avoid or ignore technologies. You have to learn it. Right? So
Okay,
that's why
right.
you should take such responsibility which is going to be aligned with your career progress.
Got it.
Got it?
Got it, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Komal, and I hope that everyone has got their answer. If you have any other question, do let me know. And also, people who are watching outside, they can also put their question in a comment box. I will answer those questions after the session is ended. And thank you again for joining in, and see you all in the next session. Bye bye. Take care, everyone. Good night. And all of
Thank
you members, we will see you tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. on our regular session. Okay. Bye bye. Bye.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.